On the 28th of December, 1937, in the bustling city of Bombay, a child was born into one of India's most respected families. His name, Ratan Tata. For the world, he would one day become a business icon, a philanthropist, a visionary. But in that moment, he was just a fragile child, entering a world that would test him, shape him, and prepare him to carry one of the greatest legacies of modern India. Ratan was born into the prestigious Tata family, known not just for business empires but also for values, philanthropy, and national service. But unlike what people imagine, his childhood was not a fairy tale of privilege. When Ratan was barely 10 years old, his parents, Naval Tata and Sunu Tata, separated. The pain of a broken family could have shattered him. But instead, it became the seed of resilience. Ratan and his younger brother, Jimmy, were raised by their grandmother, Lady Navajbai Tata. She became his guardian, his guide, and his greatest influence. While the world saw the Tata mansion as a palace of luxury, inside those walls, Ratan was learning values of discipline, humility, and empathy. Ratan was sent to some of the best schools of his time. Campion School, Bombay, Cathedral and John Connon School. Later, Bishop Cotton School, Shimla. But here's something most people don't know. Ratan was a shy and quiet boy. He loved piano, sketching, and cricket more than talking. He often avoided the limelight, standing silently at the edges of the classroom. He once admitted that as a child, he was deeply afraid of public speaking. Little did he know, this shy boy would one day stand on global stages, inspiring millions. Though he came from wealth, Ratan never felt entitled. Being raised without parents gave him a sense of loneliness. He often sought comfort in books, art, and animals. But it also gave him a gift, empathy. The ability to feel the struggles of others, to understand pain, and to care. This empathy would later become the foundation of his leadership style. In 1955, young Ratan left for the United States. He joined Cornell University, first enrolling in mechanical engineering, but soon switching to architecture, his true passion. At Cornell, he wasn't treated as a Tata heir. He was just another student working late nights on architectural models, walking across snowy campuses, and learning the discipline of design. America opened his eyes. It showed him freedom, innovation, and the vast possibilities of life. For a moment, he dreamed of staying back, building a career there, living a life far from the shadows of the Tata Empire. But destiny had other plans. In the early 1960s, his beloved grandmother, Lady Navajbai, fell seriously ill. Ratan couldn't bear to be away. So, he left behind his American dream and returned home. He once said, "I owed everything to my grandmother. She shaped who I was. When she needed me, I had to return." And just like that, the boy who wanted to design buildings in America came back to India. To design the future of an entire nation. This was not an easy choice. It meant giving up comfort. It meant stepping into responsibility. It meant starting at the very bottom even though he belonged to the top. Ratan Tata's true journey was about to begin. The year was 1955. India was still a young nation, just 8 years free from British rule. And a young man, shy yet determined, was about to leave the shores of Bombay to chase a dream thousands of miles away. That young man was Ratan Tata. Ratan landed in the United States with curiosity in his eyes and courage in his heart. He joined the College of Architecture at Cornell University, New York. At first, he tried mechanical engineering, the practical choice. But soon, he realized that his heart lay in architecture and design. He switched majors, defying expectations, and followed his true passion. Those who knew him at Cornell remember him as a quiet, hard-working student. He wasn't loud or flashy. Instead, he spent long nights in design studios, shaping models, sketching structures, and imagining cities of the future. America was different from India in every possible way. The culture, the openness, the freedom to think differently. For Ratan, this was eye-opening. He learned that design was not just about buildings, it was about improving lives. It was about solving problems with creativity. He often said later in life, "I was always drawn to product design. It gave me joy to think of how something I designed could serve people better." This wasn't just architecture he was studying, it was the art of empathy turned into innovation. After Cornell, Ratan took a job in Los Angeles, working with the famous firm Jones and Emmons. He loved the lifestyle, modern offices, cutting-edge design, beaches, cars, and a sense of independence. For the first time, he imagined building a life far away from India. He even dreamed of staying in America for good. After all, wasn't this what freedom looked like? A life where he could shape his own destiny. But destiny always has a way of reminding us who we truly are. Back in India, his grandmother, Lady Navajbai Tata, the woman who raised him, who loved him, who instilled values of humility and courage, fell seriously ill. Ratan received the news, and in that single moment, all his dreams of America faded. He once said in an interview, "I could not live with myself if I wasn't there for her. I owed everything to her. She had made me who I was." And so, Ratan Tata made a choice that would define his life. He left behind the comfort, the glamour, the opportunities of the West, and returned home to India. In 1962, Ratan Tata walked into the offices of Tata Steel, Jamshedpur. He was not there as the heir of the Tata Empire. He was not given a corner office. He was not treated like royalty. Instead, he started at the very bottom. His first job, shoveling limestone and handling blast furnaces on the shop floor of Tata Steel. Imagine this. The grandson of a Tata family member, working shoulder to shoulder with workers in sweat, smoke, and dust. But this was exactly what shaped him. He learned the dignity of labor. He understood the struggles of ordinary workers. He saw leadership not as power but as responsibility. This was the turning point. The young man who once dreamed of designing skyscrapers in America was now preparing to build an empire in India. But make no mistake, the road ahead would not be easy. He would face failures, betrayals, resistance, and doubts. Yet, every challenge would shape him into the legend he became. After completing his education at Cornell and gaining exposure at Harvard Business School, Ratan Tata returned to India. His family name was already legendary, but for him, that was never enough. He didn't want respect just because of his surname, he wanted to earn it with his own hard work, vision, and values. When he entered the Tata Group, the world was watching. Many assumed he would be just another heir to a giant business empire, enjoying wealth and prestige without putting in much effort. But they were wrong. Ratan Tata was different. He wasn't chasing money or fame. He was chasing purpose. At first, Ratan Tata was given smaller responsibilities. He started with the Tata Steel division and was sent to work alongside laborers on the shop floor. Most young heirs would have chosen the comfort of an office, but Ratan Tata wore a helmet, rolled up his sleeves, and worked in the heat and dust with the workers. He wanted to understand the pain and challenges of the people who built the foundation of the company. This humility won the hearts of employees, but it also proved something important. Ratan Tata was a leader who led by example, not by position. In 1991, Ratan Tata became the chairman of the Tata Group. The timing couldn't have been more challenging. The Indian economy was just opening up after decades of protectionism, and competition from global giants was knocking at India's door. The Tata Group, once considered untouchable, was struggling with outdated practices, multiple family influences, and businesses that lacked focus. Many doubted whether Ratan Tata had the strength to lead such a massive transformation. But he believed in a simple principle. I don't believe in taking right decisions. I take decisions and then make them right. This mindset became the driving force of his leadership. When Ratan Tata tried to modernize the group, he faced resistance from within. Senior leaders, accustomed to old ways, didn't agree with his new vision. He faced criticism, doubts, and even mockery. But he stayed firm. His mission was clear: to unify the Tata Group under one strong brand. To bring professionalism and ethics back into the core of business. To compete not just in India, but on the global stage. It wasn't easy. But Ratan Tata never backed down from challenges. One of the boldest moves he made was to acquire international companies. Many thought it was a risky step for an Indian company at that time. But Ratan Tata believed India should dream big. In 2000, he acquired Tetley Tea, making Tata the world's second-largest tea company. In 2007, he shocked the world by acquiring Corus Steel, one of Europe's largest steel producers. In 2008, he pulled off the historic acquisition of Jaguar and Land Rover (JLR) from Ford. People laughed when Tata bought JLR, saying it was a sinking ship. But within a few years, under Tata's leadership, Jaguar and Land Rover turned profitable and became global icons once again. This was Ratan Tata's gift to India. He showed the world that an Indian company could not only compete globally but also lead. The birth of the people's car. Perhaps the most inspiring chapter of his career was the creation of the Tata Nano. The idea was born when Ratan Tata saw a family of 4 traveling on a scooter in heavy rain. The father driving, the mother sitting sideways, and 2 children squeezed in between. It was risky, unsafe, and heartbreaking. That image stayed with him, and he promised himself, "I will make a car that every Indian family can afford." And so, the Tata Nano was born, the world's cheapest car at the time, priced at just 1 lakh rupees. Although the Nano didn't succeed commercially, it became a symbol of innovation and empathy. It showed the world that business can be about more than profits, it can be about making lives better. What made Ratan Tata truly special was not just his business sense, but his humanity. He listened more than he spoke. He respected everyone equally, from CEOs to factory workers. He was humble, soft-spoken, and deeply compassionate. He once said, "Take the stones people throw at you, and use them to build a monument." And that's exactly what he did. By the 2000s, Ratan Tata had transformed the Tata Group from a traditional Indian company into a global powerhouse. His vision, courage, and integrity made him one of the most respected leaders in the world. But for him, the real achievement wasn't wealth or fame, it was leaving behind a legacy of values. He believed that business is not just about money, it's about trust. And trust, once earned, becomes eternal. Every great leader is tested not in times of comfort, but in the face of trials. For Ratan Tata, the real challenges began when he entered the Tata Group in the 1960s. He wasn't given a red carpet welcome, nor did he immediately inherit leadership because of his family name. Instead, he had to earn respect, prove himself, and overcome immense skepticism. Ratan Tata's career began at the very roots of the Tata Empire, Tata Steel, in Jamshedpur. Unlike many who might have expected him to start in a comfortable office, he insisted on working at the shop floor level. He rolled up his sleeves, worked alongside the workers, and even handled tasks like shoveling limestone and operating furnaces. This experience was transformative. It gave him 2 things. 1. A deep respect for the dignity of labor, no job was small. 2. A first-hand understanding of worker struggles, something that shaped his future decisions as a leader. This humility would become a hallmark of his leadership style. Despite his sincerity, Ratan Tata was not immediately accepted by the senior leadership. Many doubted his abilities. In the 1970s and 1980s, Tata companies faced several problems: bureaucratic hurdles, outdated technology, and lack of global competitiveness. When Ratan Tata was appointed as the chairman of Tata Group in 1991, many critics inside and outside the company said, "He is too soft to lead. He cannot handle such a vast empire. He is just a family name, not a leader." But Ratan Tata quietly accepted these doubts as challenges. He decided not to fight with words but with actions. When he took over, the Tata Group was a scattered empire of nearly 300 companies, many of which lacked synergy. Each company acted like a kingdom of its own, with little coordination. Ratan Tata envisioned something bold. He wanted to unite the Tata companies under one strong brand, Tata. He wanted the group to stand not only as India's pride but as a global competitor. This vision was not easy to execute. It meant restructuring, modernization, and sometimes making painful decisions. Ratan Tata was known for his calm demeanor. When senior executives resisted his reforms, he didn't shout or threaten. Instead, he listened, patiently explained his vision, and slowly won people's trust. He believed in the power of example. Rather than forcing people, he inspired them. He once said, "Take the stones people throw at you, and use them to build a monument." This mindset allowed him to transform criticism into fuel for progress. By the mid-1990s, employees and the public began to see Ratan Tata's real character. He wasn't driven by greed or ego. His decisions were based on long-term benefit for the company, the well-being of employees, the reputation of India on the global stage. Slowly but surely, he started earning the respect that once seemed impossible. He faced opposition, doubts, and tough business climates, but instead of being shaken, he used them as stepping stones. His humility, patience, and commitment to values laid the foundation for what would later become one of the greatest corporate success stories in Indian history. Life will always present skeptics and doubters. No matter how sincere you are, there will be those who underestimate you. Ratan Tata's story reminds us. Prove yourself through action, not argument. Respect every kind of work, because greatness is built on humility. Criticism is not the end, it can be the beginning of your greatest journey. The early 1990s marked one of the most defining periods in Ratan Tata's journey, a turning point that would test his courage, vision, and leadership like never before. When Ratan Tata became the chairman of Tata Sons in 1991, many doubted him. He was stepping into the shoes of J.R.D. Tata, a towering figure not just in business, but in the very fabric of modern India. J.R.D. had nurtured the Tata Group for decades, transforming it into a conglomerate admired across the globe. For many, Ratan Tata seemed soft-spoken, too reserved, perhaps even inexperienced to lead such a massive empire. Critics whispered that he lacked the charisma and toughness required for the job. But what they didn't realize was that behind his calm demeanor, Ratan Tata carried a fire, a determination to modernize the Tata Group, to make it more competitive in an India that was opening up to the world. India in the 1990s was going through economic liberalization. Barriers were being removed, foreign companies were entering, and competition was getting tougher than ever before. For the Tata Group, which had grown used to the protected economy, this was both an opportunity and a threat. At the time, Tata companies were highly decentralized. Each operated almost like an independent kingdom, with powerful CEOs who resisted change. Many of them were not keen to report to Ratan Tata or accept his new vision. The group lacked unity, and this fragmentation made it vulnerable. Ratan Tata knew that if the Tata Group wanted to survive in the new global era, it needed discipline, consolidation, and a clear direction. This meant making tough decisions, and not everyone was ready for it. When Ratan Tata introduced changes like setting retirement ages for directors and making it mandatory for group companies to use the Tata brand only if they adhered to group guidelines, he faced enormous pushback. Senior leaders, who had enjoyed autonomy for years, openly opposed him. There were moments when the media criticized him harshly. Some even predicted that Ratan Tata would fail as chairman and that the empire built by J.R.D. would crumble under his leadership. But Ratan Tata stood firm. He was polite, but unwavering. He did not raise his voice, but his decisions spoke louder than words. He started building a younger leadership team, giving opportunities to new thinkers who shared his vision of global growth and modernization. Perhaps the boldest symbol of Ratan Tata's determination was the Tata Indica. In the late 1990s, Ratan Tata announced that the Tata Group would create India's first truly indigenous car. Many mocked the idea. Who will buy a car made by Tata? Critics laughed. Even within the industry, people said it was foolish. The car market was dominated by foreign players with decades of experience. But Ratan Tata believed in the potential of Indian engineers and in India's ability to stand tall. The road wasn't smooth. The first version of the Indica faced problems and initial sales were disappointing. Newspapers carried scathing reviews. Rivals predicted Tata Motors would collapse. But Ratan Tata did not back down. He told his team, "We will not quit until we succeed." He listened to customer feedback, improved the car, and soon, Indica became a success story, a car that every Indian middle-class family could aspire to own. It wasn't just about selling cars, it was about national pride. Slowly but steadily, Ratan Tata's leadership began to silence critics. His insistence on modernization, brand unity, and global ambition started showing results. Under his guidance, the Tata Group entered new sectors like IT, telecom, and expanded its global footprint. What made Ratan Tata different was that he never chased success for his own glory. He wasn't driven by personal wealth or power. His motivation was always the legacy of the Tata name, the pride of India, and the responsibility of improving lives. This turning point, the struggle of the 1990s, the resistance he faced, and the risks he took, laid the foundation for the Tata Group's transformation into a global powerhouse. Ratan Tata proved that leadership is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It is about vision, resilience, and the courage to walk alone when others doubt you. Every great leader faces resistance. When you try to change the old ways, people will mock you, doubt you, even fight you. But if your vision is clear and your purpose is strong, no amount of criticism can stop you. Ratan Tata's journey teaches us, do not fear opposition. Fear standing still when the world is moving forward. Ratan Tata's leadership was never limited to boardrooms, profits, or stock markets. For him, business was just a tool to touch lives, uplift societies, and build a nation that stood tall with dignity. In this chapter, we dive into how he used his power and position not merely to grow the Tata empire but to leave behind a legacy of compassion, ethics, and humanity. Despite being one of the most powerful industrialists in India, Ratan Tata was known for his extraordinary humility. He drove himself to work, often without security,